What's up, guys? It's Jimbo here, and we have a video about the new week in World of Warcraft Dragonflight. So, as you know, today, Tuesday, the day of the reset, this is when you'll get to flip over all of your weekly quests and open up your vault from your progress in the week before. Hopefully you've done some mythic dungeons, some raid progress, and some PvP progress to open up as many slots as you can for your vault progress. And now you get to repeat that process, hopefully with some upgrades going into this next week. The reason why this week is a little bit special, though, and I wish I had known this actually before I had done it myself. I didn't find out until afterwards, because obviously when you, this is the thing that you're waiting for, right? Is get on and open your vault right away. That's what everybody likes to do. Get your upgrades and, and carry on. But there is a weekly quest this week, which will give you a piece of gear from your vault. The only stipulation is it cannot be tier gear that you get from completing the quest. But you want to complete that quest before you open up your vault. So we're going to go over that here today. And we're going to go over just what the other weekly quests are that you can pick up and you can do this week in order to make progress on your character. Now, I was scanning through Twitter, and obviously I see a lot of World of Warcraft posts on there. And there was one fella who I did reply to, and here actually I can probably pull up his tweet here. Let's switch over real quick and see if I can find the tweet. And we can go over some of the things that I talked about in that reply tweet to him or her, so I shouldn't assume there. That's my bad. Here we go. Let me pull this up here. Ignore all my other tabs open. You can see I got all kinds of jazz open here. So we have this post here. It was originally a tweet from Venruki. Everybody should know who that is. And then we had a Daniel Lawton who replied saying that they've been playing since launch and they've only got to a 370 item level on their character, which is a little bit low. Not extremely low, but a little bit low, all things considered. So I replied with a list of the things that you can do and should be doing weekly if you want to pick up your item level as much as you possibly can each week. So you want to make sure that you're first off getting the easy things done, like the Dragonsbane's Keep and the Community Feast. There are add-ons that you can use. You'll see here we have Toto's list here, which gives us a list of everything. I know it's a little small for you guys to see on the screen, but it gives you a list of everything that you should be keeping up with for your weeklies. And something like this can be very handy, especially if you're a little bit newer to the game and you need help keeping track of these. We're going in multiple weeks now into this expansion, so I probably don't need this list anymore as I've got it all up in my noggin, but it is nice to have there as a quick reference. So you should be able to get the easy things done, like the Dragonsbane Keep and Community Feast. The Trial and Flood and Trial of Elements are extremely easy to complete, but they don't have indicators in the in the game like the Community Feast and Dragonsbane Keep do. So you got to keep checking these areas where they spawn and making sure that you get those done at least once a week, as they can have gear upgrades for you. The Grand Hunt is right up there. I guess I kind of went out of order. Grand Hunt should be up here with Community Feast and Dragonbane's Keep. And then you also have your bi-weekly world quests to get done too. These could be all kinds of things on your map, and these are just world quests to get done, and a lot of them can drop pieces of loot for you as upgrades. So you see here, I have my PvP set on right now, so that's what it's comparing this helmet to, but this alone will drop a 385 helmet for me if I just go and complete this quest. So, for that guy in particular that we're replying to, a 385 helmet would be huge for him, right? Something like this over here, this is just going to give me some reputation, and, you'll find plenty of other quests here on your map to make sure you're getting these done. So you have your bi-weekly world quest, you have your Trophy of Strife quest, which we're going to go over today's this week's Trophy of Strife quest. That has taken place in the plains, I'm pretty sure. And then you have your list of 8 or so elite mobs to kill every week. So you have Char, Battlehorn, Turbos, Urkeen, Snagglebone, Blisterhide, High Shaman, Rot Knuckle, the Ancient Protector. All of these have a chance of dropping loot. Now, the loot that these mobs drop isn't exactly going to be on your loot table, so they could, if you're wearing plate armor, it can drop leather or cloth. But it doesn't take a lot of time to kill these, and you should be getting, 1 kill of them, daily or whatnot, to make sure you're getting as many possible loot drops as you can for the week if you're struggling with getting gear upgrades. I wouldn't particularly seek these guys out, and sit around and hunt them and waste time waiting for them to spawn. But you should be able to catch these guys if you have deadly boss mobs or one of the other add-ons to show you where these guys are. You should be able to catch them every once in a while when you're flying through the areas doing quests or exploring, gathering, whatever the case may be. If you see them, kill them, and get your opportunity at getting the loot. And then there's also the other things that you can do here, like clearing out your mythic dungeons, right? And getting into raids. Now, if you don't have a guild to do raids with, you do have public groups that you can get into. Obviously, that's going to be a little bit harder. And then you also have the LFR raids, which don't drop nearly as good gear in terms of item level. But what did this guy say he was at? 370, right? So, I mean, if we take a look at the adventure guide here, and we go to raids, Vault of the Incarnates, and we put it on Raid Finder, and we go to the loot, you'll see here that the tier gear that's dropping is going to be 395. Wait, did that say 395? Can it even drop tier gear? I'm honestly not sure. But anyway, this loot here is all 376, right? And we get into the... Oh, it can drop tier gear. Okay, so 389 tier once you get up to the harder bosses. 376 on these, right? So 395 and 382. So all of this stuff is going to be upgrades for this guy that we're replying to on Twitter. And these are only... LFR rates. Now, I think right now only the first wing is open, right? Which was it the first 4 bosses or something? But this is progress that you can make by doing these raids. If you don't have a guild or if you don't have a group of people that you play with, you can get it done in the LFR and meet people. If you see somebody is doing really well, add them to your friends list. See if they want to play again in the future. And this is how you build bonds with players and maybe even eventually create your own guild and get your own raiding going on, stuff like that. You can be who knows, you might be the next, Asmongold or something. Anyway, so that was my... between that and the fact that you have this quest here, aiding the Accord, this is why you want, or not aiding the Accord, I'm sorry. It was this one, Emissary of War. This is why I wanted to make this video, to make sure as many people know about this quest before they open up their vault. So I already opened up my vault, unfortunately, but this quest here you pick up, it is a weekly. You pick these quests up from the people here in Valdrakken. Talk to anybody that has an exclamation point over the head, and you will find these quests here. So this one is Emissary of War. It is a dungeon quest, and it says complete 4 dungeons on mythic difficulty. And the reward that you're going to get is a cache of vault treasures. Item level 402 guaranteed, right? So the reason why you want to do this before you open up your vault is because this is completely random, right? So, for instance, I opened up my vault and I picked out a 402 ring myself. I should have it equipped on here. Maybe not because I'm on my PvP spec here. Okay, so it was actually a 405 ring. Okay, so I picked out a 405 ring from my vault today. And if I were to now go and complete this quest and it were to drop me a 402 ring, that wouldn't feel very good, right? It wouldn't feel great because that means I could have picked something else from my vault that would have been more useful. So doing this first is definitely the way to go. And the good thing about this quest is it doesn't specify what the difficulty needs to be for these dungeons. So if you do go into the group finder and you go to your mythic dungeons, pre-made groups, dungeons, find a group, you're going to see that there's a lot of +0 weekly groups. Mythic 0 for weekly, Mythic 0 for weekly, Mythic 0. You're going to see a lot of these Mythic 0s here this week. Ruby Life Pools, Mythic 0 weekly. So what these people are doing is they're picking a very easy Mythic dungeon to do, and they're running it 4 times on Mythic 0. Extremely fast, extremely easy, because the quest isn't specific. Now, what's this going to do? You can bet that the next time this quest or a similar one comes along, Blizzard is going to change the wording on it to say, 4 different dungeons, or 4 dungeons of at least Mythic 5 difficulty or something. They're gonna change it so that people can't completely cheese this quest like they're doing this week. But hey, like Asmongold says, exploit early, exploit often. This isn't really an exploit. It's just taking advantage of the way they made the quest and getting it done as easy as possible. Can't blame anybody for that. So get your quest done ASAP, and then make sure you're opening up your vault. Now, some of the other quests that you want to pick up here for the weeklies is going to be the Aiding the Accord, Feast for All. This requires you to do the Community Feast, which you should be doing already at least once for your weekly reward. So that's a shoe-in. And then also you're going to be collecting 3,000 reputation earned anywhere through the Dragon Isles. Now, this can be completed anywhere for any of the factions, so it doesn't matter what you're doing there. You will complete this naturally through your week as long as you're just playing the game, completing quests in general. Very, very easy. A passive completion. Doesn't take any effort to do. These ones are your PvP ones. So you have Proving in War, which is getting 1,500 honor earned in Epic Battlegrounds. This is unfortunate. Epic Battlegrounds take forever to queue. It should be a little bit easier now. Oh, you can see I'm actually almost honor capped. I need to go spend some honor. We need to go take care of that. But you want to get it done. And luckily, it doesn't exactly require wins. It just requires honor earned. So as long as you're participating, you should get at least something out of that. And then the other one is going to be Proving Solo, which also does not require you to win. You just have to queue into Solo Shuffle, which does require you to have a specific item level, but you can reach that item level just by buying the basic PvP gear from the vendors, and make sure you have that equipped before you go in. So if you go to Rated PvP, you'll see you have the solo arenas here. Now, unfortunately, these queues do take forever. You see if I queue for this here, we're looking at at least 6-minute queue. Normally it's 9 to 12 is what it actually counts down into. So yeah, be ready for that. Maybe since we have the quest up, you'll be able to get these done quickly. The good news is it doesn't require you to win rounds. It just requires you to participate. There's 6 rounds in each solo shuffle, so that means you'll need to do 2 full settings of solo shuffle to be able to get that done and get that reward for honor, conquest, and reputation. And obviously completing these is also going to count this reputation that you get towards your Aiding the Accord quest that you were already working on. Now, the hardest one, and I made a video on the Sparks of Life quest before. You can find that. That video for some reason popped off. A lot of people were very salty that I was upset that it was hard to complete through strictly PvP. It does look like that they changed the quest. The Spark of Life requirement has been lowered significantly, cut in half actually. It was 200, now it's 100. That is much more manageable. And since these quests have been not in the Anima PvP region, they've also been a lot easier to complete. I'm not dealing with people with 5 million health and critting for 500k anymore. We're actually getting some good fair PvP in, which makes this quest much more enjoyable. That said, I have to mention, because everybody mentioned it in the comments of that other video I made, you don't have to only complete it through PvP in these regions. So it says here that you need to collect 100 Sparks of Life in the plains while you have War Mode on. So you want to make sure you have War Mode on. You want to make sure you're going over to the plains region here, and you will get 1 Spark of Life for killing anybody in PvP. Obviously, they need to be your level. They need to be worth honor or whatever to count. So killing players in PvP with War Mode on. You also will get Sparks of Life from opening Expedition chests. You will also get Sparks of Life from killing elite mobs. You will also get Sparks of Life from war chests. You will also get Sparks of Life from, I want to say just completing quests, but honestly that one I'm not completely sure on. I'm not doing a ton of quest completions and stuff in these areas for these. I prefer just to do it in PvP. As long as the PvP is fair, that's my preferred way to do it. And you'll see I already have 27 sparks myself. But what this will do will give you 8 trophies of strife. And we can take a flyover real quick here to the vendor where you'll be using these. I believe it's this vendor in here, right? Is it this guy here? Nope, that's the bloody token guy. I guess we can let it vendor our grays here while we're looking. Is it this guy? Right, it's this guy here. So you use this first vendor here to buy your PvP gear for bloody tokens, and bloody tokens you get through doing various things in the world. And then you talk to this guy here, and you use your trophies of strife in combination with the item that you already purchased for the bloody tokens, and it gives you an upgraded version. So we'll take a look at 2 similar items here. So let's take a look at the Drakebreaker Sash. You'll see this one is a 366 item level and goes up to 408 in PvP. And if we look at this sash here, this one is a 385 going up to 421. The Trophies of Strife currency is limited to what you can get in this quest weekly, so you can't just go through and completely fill out your character in this purple PvP gear. You will have to make sure you're getting this Trophy of Strife quest done, and make sure you're staying up to date on your PvP eye level if you want to be competitive in that sort of thing. Now, also, one last thing, and probably the most important thing, I had already completed mine, but we will fly over to the area here. So this week, you may forget about them because you didn't have one from last week, but this week we do get our Sparks of Ingenuity back. So if you come over here to the Maiden of Inspiration, you'll be able to talk to her to start the quest line. You're going to fly somewhere over in this general area over here. I don't remember exactly where it was. Just follow your quest markers and complete the quest. Come back to her, and she will give you the Spark of Ingenuity. Now, if you should have by now, if you're trying to keep up on your item levels, already upgraded your gear twice with the Sparks of Ingenuity that we've gotten previously. After you have your Spark, you'll come over here to the crafting order section, and you will search for an item. So let's just say this is what I did this week, so I'll do it again. We'll look at one-handed weapons. We'll filter by, usable and upgrade, and we'll search. Oh, it's not an upgrade anymore, I guess, because I already have it equipped. But anyway, you search. We did the Primal Molten Longsword, and you'll see here it requires a Spark of Ingenuity to make, along with Primal Chaos, and this one required Primal Molten Alloy. So you get these materials from the auction house. You can infuse with power, which I did, choosing a secondary stat. This will guarantee you get the stats that you want, because you see here it does do 156 of random stat 1 and random stat 2. And then you can also add embellishment here. Now, this part is important. I'm going to tell you where I messed up here myself. I added embellishment. I did the Fang adornments because that is the best in slot adornment for my weapon. But what I did not realize was that this ring and, well, not this amulet because I've changed gear to offset my problem here. I did have the Elemental Lariat on, which we know is the best in slot amulet right now. These are the 2 embellishments. You can only have 2 embellishments on your character. Only 2 items with embellishments. So when I crafted my Primal Molten Longsword, which came out at a 399 with the embellishment, I ran into a problem as now I had 3 pieces of gear which have very high item level, all have embellishments on them, which means I can only choose 2 out of the 3, which kind of put me into a pickle. Blizzard, please give us an ability to remove embellishments from items. Please. I don't really see the downside of doing this. You know what I'm saying? I don't really see the downside of doing this. Give us a way to remove embellishments from items. Please. Because now what that means is either I can't use my best weapon, I can't use my best ring, or I can't use my best amulet, right? That's my options here. So I did try it out on the training dummy. It does seem like ditching the amulet, keeping the ring, and putting my best weapon on is my best choice. It gives me a difference of like plus 5,000 DPS or so when I go through my full rotation on a single target. But I would really love to get my amulet back on. I don't know how I'm going to fix that problem. Honestly, I think what's going to happen is I'm going to have to suck it up, and I'm going to have to recraft a new amulet or something. But that's a problem for another day. Those are the weekly quests, guys. I mean, there's plenty of other weekly quests out there, but those are the main ones you want to make sure you're getting done, that you pick up in Valdrakken. If you're trying to get your item level up, you really want to make sure that you're getting that kind of stuff done. Also, be aware of your item level and be aware of the mythic dungeons and what it takes to get these things completed. What your mythic rating is, what your item level is. If you're trying to get into groups, don't try to push too far ahead. If the highest you've completed is a 9, like me here, don't go try to queue in for a 15 or something. They're not going to accept you into the group. You have to work your way up. Even if your skill level and your gear level, that you can do a plus 15. People don't know you like that, right? So the only thing they can go by is what your mythic score is. So work your way up slowly, get through the ranks, get your score up, and prove yourself that way. That's all I got for you guys today. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments, guys. Our streams have been a little wacky this week. My daughter is here visiting me for Christmas and into New Year's, so we're streaming when we can, trying to get these videos out for you guys. Anything you guys can think of that I didn't cover here, let me know down below. Don't forget to follow, like, subscribe, whatever the deal is, and I'll see you guys coming up here in the future. Another video coming soon. We cleared Razagath last week, very last day, so I'm going to have a video on that. I recorded all the footage from the fight. I'm going to go over the step-by-steps on how to get through that fight, how to not die to the mechanics, and how to make sure you're performing well enough that the group doesn't kick you out. You know what I'm saying? So look for that video coming out soon, and I'll see you guys later. Adios, muchachos.